Hey everybody, what's up? Frank Fridella here with my first feature, episode number 10. And today I'm going to give you the top 5 tips for staving off the seeming apocalypse that's happening in 2016. Today is July. And we're about halfway through the year. We've already lost David Bowie, Prince, Alan Rickman, Gary Marshall, and countless others. Not to mention all of the terrorist attacks, hate crimes, things in Paris, Bangladesh, Maui, I don't know. Just every time you turn around, there's a mass shooting. People are dying. People you didn't even know were sick are dropping dead. So let's talk about the things that you can do to stave off the apocalypse. Number 1, do something. Create something. Little known fact that at the beginning of the 1970s, the music industry was facing a crisis of epic proportions. Jimi Hendrix died, Janis Joplin died, Bob Marley died, the Beatles broke up, and it just seemed like what good could possibly come from any of that. And their deaths and the breaking up of that band was tragic, but it gave us David Bowie, and it gave us disco, and it gave us the Eagles, and it gave us Heart, and it gave us Led Zeppelin, and all of these things came out of that vacuum. Punk rock came out of that era. And it's because there was this hole that needed to be filled, and people rose to that challenge. Now, here's the really interesting part. The people who stepped in to fill that void didn't start the day before. They didn't hear, oh my God, the Beatles broke up, I should do something. They started years before, and it just happened to be their time. So if you start right now, you might be the thing that people are waiting for in the next era. So start now is what I'm saying. There are already people who are stepping in to fill that void. But when they're gone, where are you going to be? That's my question. So number 2, I'm going to take a quote from Steve Martin here. Number 2 is be so good they can't ignore you. Ultimately, when people talk about favoritism or how to break in or whether it's comics or music or film or whatever, ultimately the best advice I can give you is be so good they can't ignore you. And that just means, well, I don't think you need that explained to you, do you? No. Okay, number 3, this is a big one because we live in an internet age where you can't go onto Facebook or Twitter without people like, you know, pissing in your cornflakes and farting on your oatmeal for anything that you like. Newsflash, you're allowed to like everything. Say that again. You're allowed to like everything. You're allowed to go in with this kind of joyous attitude that like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna go and have fun. I'm gonna enjoy this thing. I'm gonna like Elvis and the Beatles. I'm gonna like Star Wars and Star Trek. I'm going to like Babylon 5 and Doctor Who. I don't know if those are rivals. But the thing is that you don't have to pick. You're allowed to like everything. You don't have to be a critic. This is important. You don't have to be a critic. I know that seems to be all the rage these days where everybody is just like, you know, well, I saw Batman versus Superman and here's my take on it. And here's why I didn't like it. And in case you haven't noticed, those responses are getting like, it was a good movie, but like you got 3 words of positivity and then the rest of it is just somebody taking a dump on other creators' work. And I say other creators in a very large sense because here's the thing that I've noticed. The people who are really criticizing this stuff don't create anything. And if that's you, just stop it. Create something of your own. If you don't like the things that other people are putting out there, make something yourself and then be so good they can't ignore you. But people who are at this level, people who are creating multi-million-dollar films, they've earned their seat at the table, you know, and they have to answer to people. Filmmaking is a creative process. So is comic books. You know, there's a writer, there's an artist, there's editors, there's colorists, there's letterers. All of these people go into this with the hope that they're going to create a good product. Nobody steps up to the plate and puts the bat on their shoulder and says, well, let's see how many fans I can piss off today. Nobody does that, you know, so maybe dial it back a little bit. And here's the other thing that I've noticed. This thing about preemptively hating stuff, like years ahead of time. Like, how do you fit that into your schedule? Like, hang on a second. What's it? I'm reading this thing here about there's a film coming out that's. Oh no, I'm not gonna like that. I'm not gonna like that at all. I should start now. I'm gonna start not liking that. I'm gonna post on the internet about how much I don't like this. Where's the comment section? Like, what is that? That's a woman. That never goes well. You can't reboot this and have a woman be. What about Starbucks? You shut your mouth. So, guys, lighten up. So here's the thing. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Huge. And huge Star Trek fan. That's right, I'm a red shirt. So ultimately, I went to see Star Trek Beyond, and I loved it. I had a great time. I saw the new teaser trailer for the new Star Trek TV show, Star Trek Discovery. Didn't care for the ship at all. What am I going to do about that? I'm going to watch the show anyway and give it a shot, and then decide if it's something I want to continue to watch or not. But what I'm not going to do is tear down the creative people who made that show happen. That serves no one. Critics produce nothing. So maybe, stop criticizing people unless you're ready to do something about it. Number 4 on how to stave off the apocalypse is take care of yourselves. I mean that physically and mentally. If you're like me and you spend a good amount of time online, most of my social interaction comes from being online, you're likely bombarded daily by negativity. And I found that to be a huge problem for my mental attitude. That I have to constantly try to get myself into a better mental space after I get off the internet. And it's like, wow, that's a lot of work. And it shouldn't be that hard. So be aware of how that stuff is affecting you. And if you need to take a break from online stuff, do it. And get thee to a gym and work out your body. And let me tell you something, we tend to separate these things into your brain and your body. But your brain is in your body. It's part of it. If you feed your body junk, you will feel bad, mentally and physically. If you go work out, even if you just go walk for a mile a day, like seriously, just go walk for a mile a day, you'll feel better. Mentally, physically, you'll feel better. So take care of yourselves. And number 5, break the rules. Go do the stuff that makes you happy. Go do the stuff that makes you uniquely you. One of the best tips I ever got about filmmaking was Stu Maschwitz saying that do only what you can do well and do what only you can do well. I thought that was a great point, that you have a voice that is unique to you. You've got a lifetime of experiences that nobody else has. And so bringing those things to the table combined with skills that other people might have, but that voice that is uniquely you, stay true to that voice. And if that voice doesn't fit in with the current rule structure, break those rules. Continue to be yourself, unless you're like a child molester or something, and then don't be yourself. But how many of us have had that, right? How many of us have had that happen in our lives where it's like, just be yourself, and then you go be yourself, and they're like, not like that, right? Fuck those people. Fuck those people. You go be yourself, you be the best you know how to be, and hey, this is my final word on this, be the best version of yourself every day. If you do that, I promise you'll have a happier life. That's it for me today. Episode number 10, my first feature, hashtag my first feature. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like it, leave a comment below, and share it with your friends that appreciate that. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.